wherever and whenever you are. As that fellow over there stole my line the other day, I caught him red-handed.
Yeah, we give you tribute.
You did. And before I made myself known as well, so we've got hats off to you, sir. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Underdark, as we find ourselves back once more in the Drow outpost of Velkinvelv, with our 4 adventurers here in a spot of bother. So, before we get into that, let me thank a few people as we are over here once more. A lovely hello to my lovely players for coming by again and joining us for this next leg of the adventure. Will there be a way out? Will there be the chance to escape? This time we shall see. But before we do that, I also want to thank a few other folks. First and foremost, the lovely people who always jump on the VOD and catch up, be it here or over on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us for our stories whenever you get the chance. And do jump by and come and see us live and say hello if you have that opportunity. Although, time zones be a thing, and I know. So, let us continue on, and as far as the support for our lovely game here, whilst not an official sponsor, we do always like to say a big thank you to Syrinscape for the sound effects, music, and other things that you'll be hearing throughout the game. Head on over and give them a look. They've got lots of great free sound sets to try. And then if you become a subscriber, or what they like to call a super siren, you can have access to all of their hundreds, if not thousands, of different sound effects and original pieces of music. But speaking of music, the things that you are hearing right now come from another source. We have extra music today from Dark Fantasy Studio, and then a couple of channels over on YouTube. RPG music maker Travis Savoy, who has finished his amazing original soundtrack for Curse of Strahd and also for Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden, and has now started on the Tomb of Annihilation campaign with a cool kind of jungle theme going on there. Really, really good stuff. Check them out. The details are in the information on the YouTube video. And also Epic Journey as another channel on YouTube. And finally, on Patreon, we have Will Savino. Jump on over, give him a follow and your patronage to get access to all of his fantastic music for your TTRPGs, be they VTTs or otherwise. That's it. As the music gets a little moody and brings the mode down here, let us remember what we were doing last time. And also, let me bring my mic where it's supposed to be, not all the way over there. Did I do this last time too? I remember I did before. There we go. Let's try that. Hello. So,
there's too many games.
Well, no, actually, this is the lack of game and actually needing my desk to do some work in between. So moving it out of the way.
Oh, you have a job? Good job, Simon.
Yes, I'm not a professional DM, although I may appear to be so at times. So, let us catch up on our adventures from last time. Having been returned to your holding pen, things are beginning to look a little better, despite being captured by drow raiders and destined for a miserable life in Menzoberranzan. High Elf rogue Elora was able to pilfer a set of keys from guards distracted by the actions of her newfound comrades Zakarn and Jimjar, the compulsive gambler. Also, Minotaur barbarian Ignatius, you learnt that the jilted lover of the outpost's high priestess is willing to provide an opportunity to escape, in order that Mistress Ilvara and her new warrior of choice, Shore, can suffer a blow to their reputations. Jorlan, this jilted lover, promised to create a window of opportunity after his next guard duty, and told you the whereabouts of your confiscated equipment. The rest of the evening was spent in the dreamy embrace of the deep ethereal, with Elora dreaming of spying on her father's shady dealings, Ignatius running military raids once more with his Feywild allies, and Satyr Cleric of Ilmater, Ning, dancing and whirling in a beautiful forest grove. That is, until all of the scene fell to rot and decay as fungal growths and a second head on her mother sprouted forth. A disturbing portent that something stirs in the depths of the abyss. Meanwhile, Zakan was headed in the other direction, towards light and breezy mountains and the ocean of Bitopia, where, on her forested isle, he was reunited with the angelic guide Tidra. After more than 20 years kept apart by the evil plots of the Nine Hells. We find ourselves waking up to a new day, promising more hard labor and verbal abuse from your captors, but fringed with a slight glow of hope. I hope so. So, let us bring us back to Velkinvel.
Sorry, one sec, our camera went out. Over here.
The camera on my channel is still going, so hi Sylvie.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, we can still see you.
Yeah, I see you guys.
Oh, I don't know, no screen, like it's
I think
out.
you have
Not
two
sure
cameras,
why.
I think, because the camera on your channel is showing a different view to the one on my channel, so you have two different ones.
All good.
I believe.
Okay. Sorry.
Back!
Hello. Right. Okay. So, yes, you find yourselves slowly waking. Those of you that were on the final watch, keeping an eye on the drow and their movements, were already awake, of course. I believe that was Elora, having already refreshed herself with the only mere 4 hours of trance rest. I must try and figure out how to do this elven trance. I could go just 4 hours a night. And actually, quite frequently do, but that's besides the point. Yes, I could do with an extra hour or two here and there. Now, Stephen, by the way, sorry, apologies for saying he there, his there. In my notes, I'd written there, and for some reason my mind just went his. I don't know why. Sorry. Excuse me.
Zakan can be any pronoun whatsoever. Zakan does not.
Fluid. Fluid as can be. Fluid as a water genasi. Okay, so let us.
There are no genders in the Underdark.
Yes. And the day is yours. Briefly. I think Stool will just like come like doop, 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 doop into the middle of the cavern, and then just do a little pirouette, and there's just a little poof of the rapport spores. And as they wash over you, and you feel the slight heady effect of this telepathic bond that you suddenly share with all of the fellow prisoners in the cell, you hear Stool's little voice. Good morning.
So everybody's waking up now?
Yeah.
I guess.
Are you okay, Ning?
I'm fine. Just had a nightmare.
And actually,
Very
Ning,
strong
remember you
nightmare.
actually woke up from that nightmare and you were sleeping against Elora. She was doing the last
Yeah.
watch there.
Yeah, I had a very strong nightmare, but
Oh no.
I think I felt safer sleeping next to Elora, so I'm
She's-
better now.
She's cool.
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right. I think you're not the only one who had a nightmare last night.
Maybe after yesterday, after that sudden death by a big spider, a giant spider.
Yeah, the
Kind of hard to.
orc was thrown
Yeah.
to the giant spiders yesterday.
It's a bit hard to just forget that image. Are you
And-
all right? All of you? Elora, are you okay?
I'm doing well.
You doing well? And everybody else in the room? The twins?
There is something dark here. I think, as you said, we all had strange dreams. But for the most part, I have some information to share with you as well.
Jimjar comes over. He's like, "Oh yeah, what's that?"
Is this one trustworthy?
Opening.
I look at you. Jim Jar. I don't know who he is.
Still,
Jar?
Still's like, I hope so, because everyone's in on this call.
In that case, I relay what Jarlash, is that his name? Jarlash.
Jorlan, I think.
Jorlan.
Jorlan, yes. Yeah.
There we go. That's what he told me.
Yeah,
So I tell you guys what he told me, and then I don't know if he's trustworthy, but it seems we have some sort of chance if we can plan accordingly.
Then does it mean it's almost time?
He said the next day.
Oh, the next day. I mean,
So, and
Would
Jim
you
just
all
like,
think-
so what you mean today, like? Is that gonna be today?
This was during the night. His next watch should be soon.
What kind of rotation are they on?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I mean, you were watching through the night, right?
I was watching. I don't know if they changed rotation, but it seems that he was on the in the dawn.
And
Rotation.
talking amongst yourselves, because you switched every 2 hours. Talking about what you witnessed during the evening, you figure out that they're on a 4-hour loop.
Okay. 4 hours. All right. You can also ask Lupido. He was there to verify everything.
Yes. Ignatius and I saw it all.
So that means like it's gonna be in about like 2 hours that they're gonna change. I mean, like we have to get ready now. Is this what it means?
Elora,
Or-
you would have seen them change just as everyone started to wake up, because the long rest was 8 hours, and at the midpoint of that, whoever was at the from the second watch into the third watch, you saw them change, and then Elora at the end of the 8th hour, you saw them change as well. I mean, their watch changes and your rest time was not exactly synced up, but like 10 minutes or so. Off.
I saw them change recently, so we'll have to wait a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Now-
are we all okay with this plan? Do we want to trust him?
Now, Jim Joe's like, yeah, hold on. What is the plan? We haven't heard what's going on.
He said that
She's in.
he will make a distraction for us, and that we should be ready to move. Our equipment is stored in that tower over there.
Can we trust the drow? At which point,
Probably not.
which point the what's the? Sorry, I'll get the guy's name. The drow that's with you.
Sarah?
Yes, Sarith. Yeah, Sarith is like. Yes, you are right to be cautious around that one and wary of any information that he gave you, but if, as I believe is the case, he was spurned by the mistress, he will be hungry for revenge.
I do
It's
trust it.
certainly true that it is certainly true that it is a powerful motivator, especially amongst a group like this, but we can assume is that he will attempt to wrap up any loose ends should he release us. So while we should make advantage of the opportunity, we should not leave him at our backs.
And the idea is how to keep an eye on him as well.
You mean the guard? So once we're out, we will gain back all our powers, right? Our spells and everything. Once we're outside.
That's how it seems, yeah. Like outside, the wards and the kind of anti-magic field is on this particular chamber, yes. and they punished you for trying to use it outside. Now, but remember, only spells that are simply verbal.
Verbal?
Yeah, are available to you.
If he does try to do something and try to command him outside, so I'll just stay next to him, and I can like take a look on him, on the guard, if he's trying something.
And Topsy and Turvy kind of come over and sit down as well, and Turvy's just like, and Topsy's like, hi, yeah, he's right. Look, I mean, there's enough of us, if it comes to that, we can keep an eye on who we need to keep an eye on. And sorry, excuse the change of accent. I decided during this week that deep knowns are Scousers. Liverpudlians.
I think we should be okay.
Okay is relative, but it is probably the best chance we have.
Okay.
Certainly risky, but we don't really have a choice.
Jim Jar comes over. So we're talking about some risky. I'm game. If you're game, I'm game.
I mean, this is our best chance. I mean, the longer I hold on to this key, the more danger we're in, so I feel like we better move fast.
So, is the key like a backup or something? Which is plan A, which is plan B?
Plan A, I think, is to go with Jorlon and let him make the distraction.
Okay.
And then this key, would I know which gates this key is able to open? Is it only for our cell, or?
It's definitely for the cell, but that's the only place you've seen them being used. But it is a ring of keys.
Okay.
There's more than one, so.
We may need this for the armory or another gate. It may come in handy.
Now, finally, here we are on our third session proper. Let me finally show you the map of this place, because you would be aware of it. You've been working and moving around. Boop. Velgenvelv. And let me come over here to zoom out. Sorry, people back home, bear with my roll 20 as it slowly comes into focus. My poor little computer trying to run everything at once.
No social distancing going on here.
Not for you guys, no. Okay, actually, first, look down the bottom. Can you see right down the bottom? There's a cool side view.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, if you scroll down to the bottom.
Okay.
So as I said here, okay.
Like this. What's that?
You haven't seen that. So you haven't
I don't
seen
approve of that.
So, as you can see here, let me click forward.
Loaded.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got the same problem as me. It takes a second. We'll get there.
Ooh,
so,
that's pretty.
Over here.
Oh.
Okay, this is the entrance to your cell.
Okay.
Okay, and you can see the webs here, and then the first of those huge stalactites is here with the guard room there, and then up above, that's where the armory is. And then the rope bridge goes across in front of the waterfall, which plunges down to the pool below, which you were also told to use. You remember you were told it was safe to jump into that pool because it's deep enough that you wouldn't injure yourselves. And probably a darn sight safer than jumping into the webs with those giant spiders. Over here is the priestess's rooms in the giant, the biggest of the stalactites. And then the next one over here is the main guard room, where the elite drow and the other guards stay. Actually, just the elites are here, sorry. And then the last one over here is... What was that last one? I think it's just another watchtower, if memory serves. So if you go back up to the top, so you can actually see the map itself. So you can see you've actually got the biggest room in the place. Luckily, because there's so many of you.
Yeah.
So many.
Yep. Let's zoom right in here and see this motley crew.
13 people.
Da-da-da. So here we have Sareth, the drow. We have the twins here, Topsy and Turvy. Okay. Here's Eldith next to Nim, her friend, our dwarven scout. And then we have Jimjar here. And Bupido up here. The excuse me, I'm forgetting the names here. The Dero, the talkative Dero. And then we have Elora's favorite here. The Quaggoth, who claims to be a polymorphed elven prince. And finally we have Shushar, Zakan's fellow philosophically minded guide to the Underdark, the awakened Kotor hermit and mystic. So, that is that there. And here you can see all the webs, and you can see down to the cavern below. So you see that the webs don't, they obscure the outpost itself, but they don't cover the entire space. So you can actually, sometimes when monsters would come down below and things, the guards would hush you up and keep you quiet, and then you just see this occasional creature just go rambling through that open space, stopping to drink from the pool, which you can see is below the guard's tower stalactite there. This one here. Okay. I shouldn't have posted on that map, because that goes on the video as well. Sorry. Here, that's what I was trying to say. So I'm going to change my color. It doesn't show up very much. Let's go red. There we go. There. That's better. Okay. So, this is the lay of the land that you are aware of. You know, there are things that you would know. The room to the north of you. Okay, I've got those two drow there. Those two drow are the ones that are on the guard duty. And there's the north and south outlying guard posts that watch the entrances to the cavern, where they're quite bored. Those two drow are those ones that are on guard there. And then this space here, this large space here, you know that's where the Quaggoth, like the muscle, the labor that isn't slave labor, is kept there. That's their quarters. And then down to the south here, the other rooms down in the bottom, down this end of things, where there's the actual the widest partition and area available. This here, this is where the drow have their barracks, the normal drow warriors, where the elite guys are in the stalactite. And also there is a mess hall. There's a large kind of dining area and kitchen. So that is the lay of the land as it goes. Now, you fall quiet, although, you're already having this conversation in your minds with the telepathic spores that Stool has provided, but you fall quiet as you see a detachment of guards coming across the swinging spider silk rope bridge towards you, and they collect those empty cups. Ignatius, you got that water, which is what Jorlan brought over last night. They collect up those empty cups and they put down these bowls of gruel, cold, slimy stuff. Not very nice at all, but keeps you alive. And keep staying alive and being ready for whenever the opportunity presents itself is first and foremost. And so you kind of force that down. And then you are separated into the day's work duties and put into your various groups and sent off to various parts of the colony to do your menial tasks, just some random cleaning, carrying of some boxes of some foodstuffs, some of the edible fungi that's down here. There's a lot of different kinds of mushrooms. You're carrying crates made of fungus which contain edible fungus because they have there's this one giant mushroom that grows as tall as trees, and it's actually the stalks are it's called zirkwood fungus, and the stalks are just as tough as wood, as timber. So they use it to make furniture. You know that the drow in their chambers have zirkwood furniture, and they use it to make crates and barrels and all sorts. You know, just anything that wood could be made of, really. The hafts of weapons, all sorts. And so you're carrying these zirkwood crates, which contain all the different kinds of edible fungus inside, which seems to have been scavenged recently, because as you heard, supplies and news in general has been delayed for some reason, and there's been no word from Menzo Baranzan for quite some time. So, is there anything that you would like to
We're
attempt?
being led out to the work duties.
Yes, indeed.
Is there a chance to pass by the waterfall, like the bridge that is sort of over the waterfall there?
You would, yes, you would. You see, there's a couple of Quaggoth leaning kind of precariously over, filling barrels.
Through...
Sorry, Zakhan?
Through either, nature or survival or something, be able to determine if the jump would be safe and if there seems to be enough water at the bottom to land in, as this.
Yeah, please give me a survival check.
I was suggesting. Oh, not great. 11.
11?
Bad roll.
Bad luck, yeah. You look at it, and to the best of your ability, you think, looking at the erosion where the water comes out of the cliff face above the bridge, and the volume of water that's constantly flowing over, you can't be certain, but you have a pretty safe idea that it would be okay. And then you stop looking because you have to catch yourself.
Split up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. While the spores are still active and before everyone's split up, Zakhan would just sort of message to everyone, as you can observe where the guards go when they bring us back, and where everyone is in position, what equipment they have, any details that you can get for return to our cell, we can exchange them. Today is our day to move.
Okay. Hey, look lively there. You've got some big rocks to break open. For no particular reason. And you get shoved from behind by one of the drow guards. Okay. Anything else from anyone else?
Are they do they move us to separate areas, or are they
Yes.
kind of moving us? Okay.
Yeah, you're all in different groups. There's like 2 or 3 of you in each group.
I'll just keep an eye out as they're moving along wherever I go, just kind of looking for anything that might help or hinder.
Give me a perception check.
That is an 11 total.
11.
Yeah.
You notice one thing. The elite drow warrior that spoke with you during the night, Jolan, with those acid burns that Zakhan identified as being from a black pudding attack. You see him at several points during the day as you're working, and you notice he's never very far away from who you know to be Asha Van Dree, who is the junior priestess. So you could kind of ascertain from that having been spurned by the senior priestess, he may be looking to curry favor with the next in line of command. as it were.
Okay. Interesting.
Can I also look around then in where I am if
As
I
you're
see
moving?
anything?
Please.
Yeah. Don't see very much. 8.
Okay. You see some scary looking spiders. So those giant spiders, scary looking spiders. One of the drow guards points to a sign on the edge of the bridge, just like no petting the spiders.
Aww.
He's like, actually, one of the guards comes like right up behind you and just like grabs you by the scruff of the collar of your clothes and like thrusts you to the edge of the silken bridge, which like wobbles very unstably. He's like, "Would you like a closer look? That could be arranged."
Just because I petted a spider?
They would love to meet you.
Well, maybe later. I'll make an appointment. I'm a little bit busy right now. My schedule is full, actually.
You're damn right it's full. Get to work.
Maybe you need a little bit of pet.
I wish, as we all do, that the mistress one day will recognize me.
Aww. Well, are you saying that you're in love with her?
No, merely that I wish, if I am fortunate enough, to someday feel the taste of her whip on my back.
Oh, so you like that kind of things. You know, I know some other people in the Underdog that like doing that. I can introduce you to them if you want to.
Shut up and get back to work.
Fine. I mean, offer is still open if you need that.
Whoever they are, there'll be not even the faintest bit as... I can't even think of the word. John is uncomfortable talking about this. Having started the conversation himself.
Yeah.
Hey, you brought whips in.
Yeah, you're the one who talked about it.
What?
Oh, wait.
Wait, Mark.
Be careful when it's me
Sorry,
talking.
bro.
Hey, Zoltoma, how you doing? Welcome by. So, you... he says, whoever they are, they will not even be a shadow of the skill that Mistress Ilvara possesses. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth.
Oh, so she's that skilled. Ooh. I'll take that in my... I mean, I'll remember that. Thank you for sharing.
Okay. Now, as you are working hard and shifting around these crates and breaking up these rocks for no apparent reason, and cleaning, the various parts of the outpost, the day winds on. There's the dubious respite of the lunchtime kind of rest where you get a cup of water, and then after again working hard, Elora, is there anything that you're doing during the day?
I think, well, they were watching the guard, so maybe I'm still kind of skeptical of Saris. Maybe is he around me? Would he be in a different group?
Roll me a d20. Just a straight d20.
Eight.
8. He is not in your group, I'm afraid.
Not my group.
But you would come in fairly close proximity a couple of times, but not. You wouldn't have all day to observe him. Do you want to give insight check or perception check? Are you just watching what he's doing, or are you trying to guess his motives?
I'm trying to guess his motives. Yeah.
Okay, then give me an insight check, please.
Oh, 21.
Nice. Okay, but that's not a natural 20, right?
No, natural 20. It's
Okay.
18 plus 3. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. Do make it very clear if it's ever a natural 20. In rules as written, that's only supposed to matter when you're actually fighting. But we shouldn't play down a natural 20 in any given situation.
Got
Which
it.
means I will also be reacting to natural ones in any given situation as well. But it doesn't mean automatic success, but it does mean more than would have been. But yes, with a 21, you get a very good glimpse into his kind of demeanor in those few times that your paths do cross, and he gets it even rougher than the rest of you, being a drow and being accused of killing a drow warrior. These warriors here are just constantly just giving him shit and just demeaning him, and you can just see it's all he can do to just like charge headlong into them. And then with that 21, I'll give you this as well. There's a very interesting time, a couple of times during the day, you see him and you come across him again, and he seems completely different. He seems like much more relaxed. Other times you can see like this rage, this anger at being captured, failing to escape, this desire that he'd met Ning and he'd been the one that Ning had helped escape, not this other random lucky drow. And he seems to like be on just like a volcano on the verge of eruption at any given moment, as he's just trying to keep this all down and not mess up. Now that he's found this maybe a chance to escape, after all, with all of you, he's trying to keep that suppressed and keep that under control. And then other times, it's almost like you're seeing Shashar, the Awakened, this Kuatoa mystic who's just like a complete hippie, complete pacifist, just completely chilled out all the time. He's like, yep, this is all part of the big... Sorry, this is all part of the big plan. And completely au fait with everything that's going on. And that contrast really stands out to you.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, that is that. Okay, now, after a tiring, hard day's work, you find yourselves once more herded up and returned to the pen, the slave pen there. And you share this information. You noticed that the ones that brought you, let's see, Ignatius, having been asked by Zakan to kind of keep an eye on things and the guard movements and such, you noticed the ones that brought you back had come from the barracks, and when they dropped you off at the slave pen, they carried on to that northern outpost, kind of grumbling and complaining about the smell of the Quaggoths in their den nearby.
All right.
And you see the various, they're forced to be a bit more watchful, a bit more on guard, as you're out and about, spread throughout the outpost. But after you're all locked up again, they kind of relax and they go to their various spots, the various locations around the outpost, and those that are off duty go to eat an evening meal of these freshly gathered mushrooms and the like from the Underdark. And you can see the food is being brought to the priestesses' chambers, and the various guards are taking their posts for the evening watch, the first part of the evening watch.
Okay.
So,
So I do mention the movements to him, and I also ask Zakan, do you know anything about this Ashavandri by chance? It seems Jorlan has been following her, tailing her after his dismissal.
you've been here the longest, Zakan. And you were here when the fall of Jorlan happened, and this new warrior, Shor, was brought up to be the mistress's new lover. And you did notice one thing with regards to this Ashavandri, the junior priestess. Before the incident with Jorlan, she seemed to completely just dote and revere the senior priestess, and was doing her best and always trying to be useful and be attentive and be loyal and trying to reap the benefits of that loyalty to her. But after she saw what happened to Jorlan and saw that there is no loyalty and everyone can be just cast aside without a second thought, her attitude towards the senior priestess changed markedly. And she seemed to react quite negatively to that experience. But you'd say she's an ambitious one, definitely.
The young priestess, like many of those here, is merely seeking to improve her own station, and the agreement between those who are stationed here is growing weaker with their lack of contact and their lack of movement. Something that can be easily broken, and I assume that our escape will send them into something of chaos.
Yeah, you've also, Zakan, you've also seen Asher and Jorlan talking almost semi-conspiratorially from time to time.
In that case, do you think that this opportunity could be at suggestion of Asha instead of Jorlan? If it were him, maybe I would be comfortable trusting, or not trusting, but thinking we could overcome it. But if it's a her direction, that maybe we have to think a little bit more.
I think any of them would gladly cut the other's throat to improve their station. Regardless of whose idea it originally was, the moment that we step outside of this cell is no guarantee of teamwork amongst them or amongst those who are gathered here. But if we can reclaim our equipment, it will give us that much better of a chance of surviving once we are out of here. The Underdark is a particularly kind place.
Well then, I haven't been here long. I will follow your lead.
One final piece of information,
See if we can.
Zakan, that you noticed as you were being brought back to the holding cell. Jorlan is on duty across in the guard stalactite. The inverse guard tower, if you will.
When everyone comes back from work duty, he's the one that's on guard.
Yes, yeah. So it's going to be sometime in the next 2 hours he'll finish.
I think it's very likely that there may be a trap waiting for us in the armory. This could be some sort of plan to try to embarrass Elvira so they could take charge afterwards or show that they're worthy of leadership because they caught us when we tried to escape. But yeah, I agree that this is really the best plan that we have if we can overcome that trap and get around it, whatever it might be.
I believe that is a wise view of the situation, Allura. I think that attempting to recapture us after they have accomplished their goal of embarrassing the current leadership is almost certainly what they are hoping to do.
I know someone was going to stay behind to watch Jorlan, but I'm not sure how comfortable I am with that.
You mean... do you mean we shouldn't stay behind to look for him, look out?
I'm not sure about us splitting up is the only thing I worry about.
Oh, I thought we were just like a one big group, but
Just
like,
staying
for
and
example,
watching.
yeah, but like maybe like some of us would like walk more slowly and just be behind and, you know, not really like actually dividing up the group unless we have to, but I guess it might be hard actually to move around as a big group too. Because we're 13 in this big cell, and it seems like it's gonna be hard to be stealthy, or I don't know. I'm
True.
just maybe at some point we'll need to divide ourselves, and if that's the case, maybe we should like say where we should meet if we are divided. Where we should...
Eldif, the problem is you don't really know anywhere except from, what you can see from the walkways. So maybe if you decide on an exit, because there is the northern tunnel that leads out, there's a southern tunnel, and then there is the northwestern tunnel. There are 3 tunnels leading off this chamber.
Waterfall.
So,
Should we meet at the waterfall?
Sure, if we are divided at some point, we can meet at a waterfall. Maybe we can have like a sort of a whistle or something like that. So we...
then Eldith comes over and she's like, "Well, that's fine if we get separated here in the camp, but what if we get separated when some of us have already jumped? Where should we meet then? Are we heading north, south, west?"
Really bad with
Does Zakan
direction.
have a general idea of where a settlement might be?
Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, you talk to them,
In their favorite terrain.
and most of them are very against using the North Passage because that leads towards Menzoberranzan, and the main city itself. And the others would would warn you, and Zakan, you would know that it would be very, very bad way to go. Although eventually past Menzoberranzan, that does lead on to Blingenstone, which is the gnome, the deep gnome, the Sverfneblin city, where Jimjar was headed, and where Topsy and Turvy should be from, but they don't seem very keen to go there. And let's see here. That would also, but if you also want to go to Blingenstone, the West Passage would also be a good way to go there. And Shushar, the Kuatoa, lets you know. I should bring these folks up so we can see who we're talking about here. Shushar, the Awakened. Shushar tells you that that Western Passage actually leads to Dark Lake and to Slooply-bloop, the Kuatoa city. So that would also be a way to get to Blingenstone via the Dark Lake, and he's travelled the Dark Lake extensively. He would be able to help you there, and then finally the South Passage leads to the Durgar city of Grachelstuch, which goes off round that way, and I mean, none of the prisoners have a particular connection to that. But yes, those are the options. So Shishar's like,
wish to avoid.
Yes, which one would you like to take?
The Drow supply line will be running north to south, and I think we would wish to avoid that even if things have been stalled. Imagine that west might be our best option if we're able to leave via one of the tunnels.
Yeah, Eldith is like, look, I just want to get back to Gauntlgrim, and that will give us all a way back to the surface.
I agree.
And the deep gnomes, Jimjar, be like, well then, we should get back to Blingenstone if we can, because the leaders there, they've got connections up to the surface. They trade with them. And Zakan, you had the connection with Grachelstug as well?
These are Gracklestone and Bloomington, as places to sort of get people back up to the surface.
Right? You know,
Keep them in their care, and they can catch a caravan from there.
what were the two places you know, Zakan? It was Blingdenstone and Gracklestone?
I believe so, yeah.
Right? Yeah, because you know that the Duergar have ways to get to the surface as well. Whereas, but
Trade
you know,
caravans and stuff that go in.
yeah. But you know, the Duergar are quite aggressive and quite unfriendly, whereas the Sverfneblin are friendlier but more suspicious because they were the ones that were just destroyed by the Drow. They were attacked by the Drow and had their whole colony, the whole city was wiped out, and this is an attempt to repopulate, to return to the original homestead. So they would probably be more suspicious, but friendlier in general.
Yeah, and Zakan does have their connections there. Is no particular friend of the Drow either.
Yes. Although you do remember you were quite interested in the giants. There are some giants living in Gracklestug, which are very interesting characters, and you always wanted to meet them. And you had heard rumors that the forges there, they're very well known for forging weapons and armor and very good craftsmanship, but a very terrible beer that they make there as well, from the mushrooms. And it's called Dark Lake Stout. You know that the forges there are rumored to be powered by a dragon. It's dragon fire that keeps the forges burning. So you've always kind of been curious about that in your... Because the areas of the city that you were given access to were very limited whenever you visited there. There's a very small section that's open to other races. But the security there is pretty tight.
Drop-offs.
Yeah. Whereas at Blingdenstone, the city is a bit more open, but the parts of the city that are blocked off are because they're still occupied by monsters, and they have a particular problem with oozes there. Yeah, the various types, like the black pudding that attacks Jordan.
Zakan's kind of thinking about it and weighing out the options, and then says that we are quite likely to be pursued by the Drow. I would say that our best hope for safe harbor lies in Gracklestug, to the west. They are no fans of the Drow, and should we be pursued, they are more likely to stand up in our aid.
Do you mean
or at the very least not to hand us over.
Do you mean the Sverfneblin or the Duergar?
Sverfneblin.
Okay, that's Blingdenstone.
I believe it's
Yeah.
all these silly fantasy names.
I know.
Okay.
It's like, hey, trust me. There's even more in my head. Okay, look.
So I would recommend at our opportunity, we send a few at a time to the equipment room if we are indeed granted access. We recover our equipment while the rest remain behind to keep watch, particularly on our sudden benefactors. Once we have gathered our equipment, we make for the waterfall, down, and then head for the Western Passage. Anyone who's particularly adept at looking for traps.
I can be part of that group. Head out to check the armory.
Oh, really?
And Eldith says, so we'll try and get our gear and then head to Blingdenstone via Dark Lake?
Like it?
Yeah.
My main goal is to get out, so if you say Blingdenstone is the safest bet, then I'm for it.
Okay.
That is the direction that we will head, but it is any guarantee what will happen down here.
So, if we're separated in the camp, meet at the waterfall, and then if we're separated after jumping, meet at that western exit?
And since I think there's no sun or anything for us to tell north, south, east, west by, Zakan would describe it in some way.
Yeah.
like so that no one messes it up.
Yeah, just pointing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the
Directly opposite the waterfall, right?
yeah, the exit that you're trying to take from the cavern is directly opposite the doorway to this room, basically. You see it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because looking at the map, the waterfall goes down, and then there's that stream, and so basically,
So yeah, that
visiting
western
that you would go.
that western passage
perpendicular
is also
versus
the
along the river.
closest. Yeah, it's also the closest to the exit that you want.
Maybe. Yeah, west.
Okay.
If we're going to travel through the Dark Lake, then we have to keep Shushar safe because I don't know if anyone else is familiar with that territory.
He says,
Don't worry about me, Laura. Whatever will happen, will happen.
So he wants to stay close by.
If I am meant to escape, I will escape.
so you all kind of hunker down and just kind of. There's a very kind of unnerving kind of tension as you're all just not sure when the shift is going to end because it had started before you arrived back. So you're not sure how long it's been going, and you're just all kind of like tightly wound springs, you know, just waiting for this promised moment, but not knowing at all when it will come. And you chat amongst yourselves kind of nervously and are waiting there for whenever this is going to present itself as an opportunity. And indeed, after a while, you do see the drow guards across the way in the stalactites stand up and start moving around more than they had been. And you hear Jordan say, in Undercommon, so whoever speaks that, "Ah, yes, it is all right. I shall get the next lot. You boys, you go and grab some food." And like, "No, yes, we will. And they head off to the south towards where the main dining area is, and Jorlan is left alone, ostensibly to go and get the next guards. But he comes across the bridge towards you.
Have eyes on the junior priestess, Ashar?
No, not at the moment, no. She's somewhere else in the
I will
camp.
be keeping an eye out for her, just to
Indeed.
see if there's any movements from her.
Gotcha. And who is going to be next to the gate?
I would be ready, since I was in contact with Jorlan.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I can be next to the gate. I mean, I'll stay next to Jorlan anyway. If he does try to do something, I try to stop him.
Okay. So the two of you are there by the gate, and Jordan comes walking over, looking around conspiratorially.
Are you ready? It is now or never.
I look back at everybody else kind of huddled, see if they're ready. Nod to the two of you.
And he starts, reaching around to get the keys off the back of his belt. And as he does so, he suddenly looks up into the darkness above in the cavern as you hear this horrible ear-splitting screech echoes through the room. Thank you, Odin. Sound effects by Odin in the background. And You just hear this ear-splitting screech, which makes you feel like sets your teeth on edge and makes you feel really uncomfortable. And then there's this strange buzzing, almost like bees, but it's much more intense and just like resonating in your mind. And he looks up suddenly. He's like, "What is this? What is happening?" Look, I'm sorry. I do not know what is going on here, but I'm afraid I must see where Ashar is. And he just turns and he just runs across the bridge away. As you, Ning and Ignatius, you like kind of peer out through the gate, and you can see this massive, it almost looks like a vulture, this huge vulture-headed winged demon just come whoosh, 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 flying through the space of the cavern above, quickly chased by these strange kind of giant half bee, half mosquito looking creatures droning away behind them, and they're swirling around each other and attacking each other, letting out these terrifying screeches. And you can see the whole base has just been thrown into chaos as all of the drow guards start running about. So they're like, "What is going on? What is this? What is this? To arms! Everyone to your posts! We are under attack!" And everyone is just charging around. What do you do?
Is the door open?
He had not opened it, no.
I take my keys and I go to unlock the door and I say,
Laura,
let's
the
get
key.
out. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
Give me a sleight of hand check, please.
10.
10? Okay. You quickly kind of reach around, and it's awkward as you're trying to get your hand through the bars and unlock the cage from the outside. And you actually drop the keys at one point, but they don't move away. You have to like quickly stoop down and pick them up, and then you work at it again, and eventually you hear a satisfying click, and everyone's crowded around behind you. They're like, "Come on, let's go, let's go."
Alright, let's go.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. It's harder than it
Come
looks.
on, Elora, come on.
I'm usually good at this type of thing, I swear.
And so they're like, okay, and you hear that click, and then the bars do open, and you can push the gate open.
Okay, so I push out
Yeah, I just
and
sort of slam into it and just start ushering people like, "Go, go, go!"
And they will come streaming past you, and Elder's like, "Oh, thank you." And what's the plan? Where are you headed? Who's doing what?
I mean, we're all together now, so we can all go to the...
It's the guard tower and storeroom.
Armory.
Oh,
The armory is there. Yeah, the armory is there. But
We have to
you do
pass through to get
see, you do see coming from the north, from that outpost, sentry point at the north. You know there would be 2 drow up there. One of them is running to see what's happening. So one of them is running up those steps. You see the steps here? One of them is running up those steps towards you. What do you do? So this is kind of like a skill challenge effect here, right? Okay, so we're not going to be going into like a full-on combat here. But what would one of you like to do to try and deal with
People
this
already streamed out.
morale? Everyone is but yeah, coming out now, yeah. So you can put yourselves where you are on the map there.
Yeah.
And I'll leave all the NPCs in the room there, but they're with you, okay?
I don't think I can move my guy.
Really? Should be set up for you.
But we all see him running up, just the one guy, right?
Hang on. There you go, try that.
Oh, no. No.
Control by.
Oh.
There we go, here we go. Boop. Boop. Sorry about that. Ignatius, try that. How's that?
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. And...
I can...
The Khan calls out and says, Ignatius, hold them at the bridge. Push them over if you can. Allura, with me.
Okay, I'll run over.
Sam, I've given you control of yours now.
Is it the bridge or the steps? Is that right?
The steps to the north, yeah.
Okay, so I'll run over and try and block off his way.
There you go, Zakan.
then we run past them.
So there. Ning Twinkle Eyes.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay, try that.
My map is loading.
It's still loading.
Okay, so yes, Ignatius. So you rush out, and this drow is charging up. He's like, what is going on? Get back inside! And you like, so brings up his hand crossbow towards you. What do you do?
I'll try and just knock him down, I guess.
Okay, give me just give me an initiative check.
Okay. Natural 20 plus.
Ooh.
Woo!
Let's see. Just 2. It's 22.
Okay, he got a 6, so you act faster than he does. So you go charging down. Oh, hang on. Let me use my verb of choice. You go barreling down the stairs towards him, and give me an attack. Use this with your horns.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no. So that is a 2 plus 6, so 8.
2, 8 total. That is not enough. Okay, so you go charging down, and he vaults over you like a like a vaulting horse. Just like plants his hands on your back, on your neck, your big beefy neck, and just goes sailing over you as you go charging past. And he gets to shoot you. Let me get my thing here. Boom. Is a 15 hit? Without armor.
Without armor, I have some sort of armor class. I have exactly 15.
Okay, beats it, I'm afraid. So that is 3 piercing damage.
Okay.
And can you give me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Sure. So it's 8.
8. Okay. Oof, that was close. You are poisoned. 1 less, and you would have been unconscious as well. So that would have been very, very bad. Okay, so this drow just nimbly leaps over you, spins as you're skidding to a halt, and just fires this crossbow into your back. And you feel that drow poison spreading from the wound, and you feel kind of groggy and a bit dizzy from the effects of it. But you turn and you go charging back up the stairs, slam into him, and he's like, no, sit alone, like falls over the back of the thing into the webs, where very quickly you see 2 giant spiders, very keen and quick to jump on their former masters, as he is dragged away, screaming, by giant spiders into the webs. So, he is gone. Okay, next. Go, go, go.
Who else is a strong boy, though? Who else do we have that can charge? And you okay, Ignatius?
I can't move my character, but I'm running toward Ignatius. Are we outside? Can we start casting spells or not?
You can move outside, yep. So put it
cannot?
in your journal. Should be okay.
I don't know, with my iPad, I don't know why I can't move. Maybe it's because the iPad app. I'm not really sure.
What was the setting, Samantha? Samantha had the same problem.
Oh, you had to use the computer website, not the mobile site. I could request you.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
There's 2 versions
Yeah.
of the site. You have to make sure it's on the right one, otherwise you can't move a token. So
Is
where
it
you
possible
headed?
to get link control of her?
Yeah, can you
Yep.
give it to Ignatius? Thank you.
I am having trouble them moving. Hold on.
Hey, there you go.
Thank
do you
you.
wanna
I was going to say, can I cast spell or not now?
If you move outside,
it's
yes.
right here right now.
Yeah.
And
If I move outside.
Oh no, that's sorry. Yes.
Eldith is going to run across to the guard tower and like watch the bridge towards the waterfall.
Cure wound on you.
Oh,
And then I'm gonna move out and just cure wound on Ignatius.
Gotcha.
Alright, so 1d8 plus 3. Oh, 8 plus 3.
whoa.
11.
Nice.
And then you're not poisoned anymore, right?
No, it's still poison.
Yeah, still poisoned, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just the wounds that you heal on him. Okay. So you go charging up there. Okay. And everyone is pouring past here.
There's still
and
one more guard, right?
But he's like off up at the thing. He's not allowed to, abandon the post there completely. And he's keeping an eye on these demons that are still buzzing and screeching around, fighting each other. Although one of them does seem to have noticed the drow outpost and like goes just soaring down towards the big open platform down the south end. And you can hear a lot of activity down there. You think a lot of the drow and a lot of the Quaggoths are making a stand there because it's the most open space. So, who's charging into this outpost, the lookout?
Yes, I think Zakan is going with Allura and saying, I'll keep an eye out for any incoming threats. You just make sure that there's no traps waiting for us.
Okay, so Laura, you're charging into the tower? Yeah.
Yeah. If I can move, sorry.
Yeah, I'll move you over there. There you go. Okay, so you go running over. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you get into that tower there, you get into the hanging tower, which is the the main lookout over you guys. You can see the Zerkwood table and chairs there, a little side table, and there's some spider silk webbing there for hooks on it for equipment, and you can see there is a Zerkwood ladder going up to a trapdoor in the ceiling. What would you like to do?
Okay. I guess I'll go up.
Yep, you're gonna climb up. Okay.
Yeah.
You're just gonna push your way into the armory.
And can I do any sort of insight check or investigation check or something for
If
traps?
you do a perception check will let you know if it's trapped or not.
Okay. $11?
11. It doesn't seem to be trapped. It looks okay.
Okay.
So you
Alright,
push
so then
your way
I'll
through.
climb on up,
Okay.
push my way through.
Indeed. So yeah, as you clamber up there, you see what for an armory. Surprise, surprise. And you can see all kinds. There's chainmail, leather armor, shields, crossbows, all of your gear in crates, Zerkwood crates, like you were carting around today. And you can see all the gear just hanging, piled up there. There's rope, hammers, all kinds of bits and bobs lying around.
Would I be able to recognize where my stuff is right
Yep.
away?
Yeah, it's all there.
Okay.
You found it there, and you can you see you've got access to that if you want to grab it. Okay, next, what is Zakan doing?
So I think Zakan is staying at the bottom to keep an eye on all the action and things.
With Eldith there.
But as people are coming into the Eldith there, and as people are coming into the guard tower, they'll sort of try and organize, one of those passing boxes lines to get stuff out of the storeroom.
Okay, so get
down
stuff
here
from
into the
upstairs.
bottom,
Yeah, okay, so
people can
Elora, you start passing
getting
things down to
geared up.
Zakan. Okay, give me a perception check just to keep an eye on things. With advantage, because Eldith's
And I think
helping.
would probably shout out. Yeah. Still looking for that junior priestess, and I think they would yell out keep your heads low, stay unnoticed. Hey, that's more like it. So that's going to be 22 in total.
Nice. Okay. You see, basically, all of the Quaggoth and Drow are down the far end, on that open platform, and you can see both priestesses there as well, just moving around. Every now and then, one of them will let off a spell to attack this demon that came from the fight above. And again, up above, you can still see these demons swirling around each other, tearing chunks out of each other. And you can see that this battle is going down there and keeping them very distracted at the moment. So you think certainly for the moment
they're
you're
focused
okay.
on that, and no one's really paying attention to us.
At the moment, yes. So you get
Can
this
you
chain.
can they get a sense of how much longer it'll take them to sort of deal with this? How much time we have?
You're okay for now, you'd say, definitely. But you do need to, it's only a matter of time before they spread out and keep things going. Okay, so you get all that stuff going there, and let me get Ignatius. Can you give me a intimidation or persuasion check? Your choice.
Okay. Hold on, I know I have something. I think it's persuasion.
Yep.
Just Oh, another natural 20 plus
Nice.
4. 24.
Spider Thor is happy about your natural 20. Yay.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, you like, automatically kind of naturally take command here, and you're kind of barking orders at everyone, and everyone just like recognizes that authority, and just in the immediacy of the situation, and everyone's like following. And with that natural 20, you manage to coordinate everyone very well, and you get what Zakan's trying to do, and you get the line of supply line going, and things are being passed down, and you get all of your you get your gear back, but Eldith calls out. She's like, "Oh, we better move! We better move!" And you see that the demons are getting lower and lower, and Eldith actually goes to one knee, and is clasping at her head. She's like, "Make it stop!" And Elora, because you're higher up than the others, you become in range of these demonic abilities that these monsters have. You start to feel kind of like a synaptic kind of buzz just in your brain, just like freezing up all of your processes, and it's intensely painful. And you think you have to bail right now. So can you make me an acrobatics check, please?
That's a 10.
A 10? Okay. So you... Okay, you slide across the floor and into the opening and down the ladder, getting further away as far as you can from these buzzing psychic effects of these demons as they're battling out in the air above. And as you see the demons start to move, and they're coming kind of in that general area, that central area, you see some of the Drow and Quaggoth start to move, keeping distance with them, and they're starting to coming up towards the priestess's stalactite, coming towards where you are. It's time to go right now.
How much of the armor and gear was I able to grab?
We'll do this later.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
Run.
I've got it jotted down how this is going,
Okay,
and
okay.
we'll do that
Okay.
off. We'll do this off stream. Okay, just keep the pace going. So
Okay.
you grab a bunch of stuff.
I grab as much as I can.
A bunch of stuff. Yes, you actually
Yeah, and
you grab your gear, and you're also able to grab a couple of bits of gear from the armor itself, which we'll sit down and sort out later. Okay, so you yes. What are you doing,
Nice.
Ning? What are you doing?
I guess everybody's running toward the tower. The
Towards the
armory,
water.
right?
Everyone's running towards the waterfall now. Yeah.
So I'm gonna run there. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. Let's go.
Okay, so I'm running toward I follow the stream of people.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay, yeah, so all of you head out that south door past Eldith, and Ning, do you help Eldith up? Yeah? She was like down,
Yeah.
like hurting, and you help her up, and you're all balanced on that bridge there up next to the waterfall.
Yeah. Yes. Can you move me to the...
Sure.
Yeah. Here.
Me too, sorry. I can't move.
So you all charge out onto the bridge,
Sticky spider webs.
and jumping.
Yeah.
Okay, you're like, who's jumping first?
I'll jump.
Ning goes, and there's that horrible lurch in your stomach as you fall, the distance down, and then you kind of like bring your feet together and plunge into the water, just this icy cold water, and then start swimming back up and looking up to your friends above, and you see you quickly swim out of the way as the next after the other, and then the next one start jumping over, just with that briefest wait to let people get out of the way. And who's waiting to the end?
I'll wait to make sure everybody
Zakan, I
gets
think we're
free.
waiting.
Oh, is
so-
that Zakan?
Or with Ignatius.
Okay.
No, they could both wait. Like both sides of the thing, like watching
Sure.
the two directions.
I'll be over here.
Before you're able to jump, one of the Quaggoths is going to get to you. What do you do?
Which side?
And you start to hear shouts. It's like, the prisoners! They're escaping! Get them! And you just hear one of them's like, just coming up from the south.
Which side is it? Oh, the south?
From the south, yeah.
That's Zakan's side, right?
That's my side. Yeah.
Yep, so Zakan, what are you doing?
I think Zakan is... So everyone's gone except for Zakan and Ignatius?
Yep, basically everyone's jumped at this point. Ready? Here they go.
Would Zakon
And
know if like
jump.
does like light attract these demons or anything like that?
You don't know.
You can find out. So he's getting like within sort of touch range, right?
The Quaggoth is coming right at you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think when the Quaggoth like gets close enough to range, Zakon will sort of like get low, dash forward, and then try to cast the light cantrip right onto him to make him a glowing beacon of attention.
Okay, you cast it on him, so he's the one that's glowing.
Yeah, so that he is glowing. And I believe they get a chance to roll against that.
Okay, give me an initiative check.
Oh, cool. Um, 10.
10. Okay, he got an 18, so he gets to attack you before you are able to do that. So he goes and claws at you. 11 without armor. So just 10 plus your dex. Nope. Okay, you quickly lunge back out of the way, kind of like going with the swing of the bridge as it's being swinging quite violently as everyone's jumping off it. And then he goes with another claw. Ooh, natural 20. I am sorry, Stephen. As he gets you for that will be hang on. Wrong button. Stress. As he lashes out for you with his second claw, and he gets you just straight across the chest with these nasty claws for 9 slashing damage.
Ooh.
Can I see?
Okay, so he just
pretty
rakes his
nasty.
claws across you, yeah. And are you just gonna jump for it now?
Oh yeah, gonna do the. Can you do the touch?
Yes,
light
as
cantrip
you're
and then
casting.
jump off?
Yes, you thrust your hand out and cast it, and it just like illuminates and blinds himself from this light, and then you just kind of like fall backwards off the bridge, disappearing into the pool.
That's all of us.
Yep. So everyone's jumped off now.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, you all just go, and there's a very large splash as Ignatius just cannonballs into the pool. And you all come, and everyone is scrambling to get up out of the water onto the side of the cavern here. And you can see it's quite strange, considering how this water is just like pummeling down into this from this waterfall, and the spray is just going everywhere. And this constant refreshing refreshing of the water is coming down, but the pool seems, in certain parts, it seems almost like oily. There's like almost like a slick, like on top of the water, on the surface of the water, and you're all pulling everyone out. And Eldith is helping people out, and she's like, "Come on, this way!" And she gestures for everyone to start running towards the tunnel entrance, which is where you are all headed, I believe. Just you guys hang back a sec. Sorry, she's just.
Can I just ask something?
Yep.
Zakan, are you hurt? Are you really hurt?
More important things to worry about. Just go for the tunnel.
Okay, I mean, I was just saying, like, maybe I can heal you before we enter the tunnel if there are more people waiting for us. Because in the middle of the combat, it will be harder for me to help you.
Khan says that, but they are like just coated in blood across the front. There's just a big gaping wound through their chest.
So I'll just give you a cure wound.
If you've got something.
I'll just give you a cure wound now, okay?
Okay. So you cast that?
Yeah. 8 points.
Like it closes up and.
Yeah, you see the magic healing
sort of
just
stands a bit straighter.
Yeah, you're like, oh, thank you. Okay. And so everyone's streaming across the floor. You can hear the drow. There's occasional as like the drow firing their crossbows down at you as well as up at the demons and trying to. They're like, "Get back here! Get back! We'll find you!" And you see Mistress Ilvara herself is there. She's pointing. She's like, "We'll find you, and we shall drag you back here, dead or alive!" And just fuming. But you can see the demons are getting closer and closer to them, and they all start to be affected by that psychic energy. And they're like, fighting it there. And Eldith is like, come on, we gotta go now. And just shouting to you all. And you all turn to go. And you're all heading towards that passageway. Some of the others, like the elven, Prince Sterndil and little Stool and everyone's, they're already over there. Stool, by the way, just like plunged into water and just like whoop, just bobbed up to the top right away. Just like floating around like a little flotation device. He's like, wee! And then start doing a little doggy paddle with his little legs. It's just like, and just like, and you all turn and start to, to make your way towards that then. And as you do, you run across the floor of this cavern. This broken rock, and there's stones around the place, and just a dusty floor of the cavern here. And as you turn to run, Ignatius, you are herding everyone. If you'll excuse the verb, you're herding everyone towards the exit. And you're like, come on, everyone, let's go. And you turn, and everyone is getting there as fast as they can, running towards you. And as you turn, you see the strangest sight, as the oily slick that was on the water seems to undulate and boil up, and the water just erupts up in like a standing wave as a grey ooze that was in the water just rises up like a breaking wave. And as you're all running towards the tunnel, right there at the water's edge is... Hang on. Ning Twinkle Eyes. And you see this ooze just rear up out of the water, like as I say, like a cresting wave, and crash down on her. Just surrounding her in this grey, sheen, oily, hazy, jelly-like ooze. And Ning, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Natural 1.
Oh, good lord.
Oh.
You feel the weight of this creature just collapse on you, and you're driven to your knees. And then your sight becomes kind of hazy as you're looking through the ooze's surface at your friends running. But then a couple of them, you see Ignatius, and he yells something, but you can't hear through the jelly-like surfaces surrounding you. And then you feel it start to burn. Your skin, your clothes, all of it just starts to sting more and more as the ooze's caustic surface, the acidic nature of this creature, completely envelops you and starts to eat away at your very body. And Eldith spins, she's like, Ning, no! As she starts running towards you.
Can I also try and reach in and try and grab her?
You spin towards her as well. Zakan? Without even a survival check, you do not need a survival check. Ning, sorry, we can't hear you, Stephen. Ning is completely engulfed in this thing. Give me a strength saving throw with disadvantage. That sounded good.
No, 19 actually.
Oh, that's pretty good. Okay.
19.
So yeah, you force your way forward. You're pushing against the surface, and you get a hand, just on a single hand, just breaks free and is reaching towards your friends. And Elora, you said you were going that, so you run forward and you grasp at this hand, and you feel it start to sting you as well. And you take 2 points of acid damage as you're holding onto Ning's hand, pulling.
Do I feel like it's hurting her? Me grabbing Elora's hand, do I feel like it's hurting
you see her wince, yeah, she's doing
then
that.
Then I let go.
I hold tighter. I try to avoid. Don't let go. Don't let go.
Okay, you try to grasp on, but with the slickness of this jelly-like substance, your hand just slips off Ning's as Ning lets go. And Ning, from inside, through your hazy vision through the gelatinous surface of this ooze, you see the vision change. And instead of your friends, you see a different figure. A man, stooped as if under great stress, experiencing intense pain, but a look of resolve on his face as he looks up to you, covered in bandages, bloody bandages of all of the wounds that he's taken on for others. And you see a vision of Ilmater himself, your god. And having retrieved your icon from the armory, you grab at that, or try to force your hand through the ooze to grab at that, and you just fall down to your knees under the weight of this creature as it's eating away at you and eating away at you. And Ilmater appears in front of you. Persevere, Ning. Keep it busy. Let them escape. This suffering is ours, not theirs. Take it on yourself. Take it on yourself. And he just locks eyes with you and fades from view again, and behind him you see the terrified eyes of your friends looking at you. You can hear them, you can see them shouting, their mouths moving, but you can't hear them through the surface of this creature, just all's muffled like you're underwater. And that stinging, corroding feeling. Zakan, with all your experience down here in the Underdark, there is nothing to be done. And those demons are getting lower. And the drow, you see, a bunch of them have jumped onto the lift with a couple of Quaggoths, and they are descending from Velkenvelv. Ignatius, you know a lost battle when you see one. You need to go now, or be returned to captivity, or whatever happens with those demons. And actually, as you're thinking that, there's a crash as one of the Vroks, as these demons, the flying vulture-like Vroks, spirals down, injured and wounded, crashes into the cave floor next to you, but not dead, and starts to stumble to its feet. And it's like, and starts to claw across the floor towards you.
I give her a salute and just start pushing people. Go, go, go! Kind of look back. Her trapped.
Eldith fights the worst. She's like, no, Ning! Elora, what you doing?
Elora is just kind of frozen, just staring at the rocks falling and completely torn, not knowing where to go.
And you feel Prince Darendil, like his huge Quaggoth hands, just like grab your shoulders. He's like, Lady Illustrious, we have to go now. In Elven.
We can't leave them here. It's not right.
She's already gone. And you can just see inside the ooze, vaguely through its surface, the kneeling form of Ning with her eyes closed, clasped onto her holy symbol, keeping this grey ooze focused on her so that you can escape.
Elora just kind of like holds back tears and hesitantly follows the rest of the group.
You stumble and make your way towards that cave entrance as poison-tipped crossbow bolts rattle around you, pinging off the rock, and that Vrok is clawing across the ground towards you, and you start to jog and then break into a run, and all of you make your way into that tunnel and into the darkness. of the Underdark as you escape Vulcan Valve. But at what cost? And we shall stop there. Désolé, Sylvie.
Whoa. Intense.
And you shall continue your journey with what you are able to salvage and head towards Dark Lake and then on to Blinkenstone. Hopefully, the surface. Although Ning Twinkle Eyes shall never see the light of day again. But with that act of sacrifice, Ning, Ilmater has a very special place for you, where you always knew you would end up, all being well. And as your spirit passes off through the ethereal towards the Shadowfell and onwards to Ilmater's kingdom, up in the outer plains, we too shall head off into the mists and leave things there, but we will be back next week to see what happens next. And if you're hungry for more D&D, there is a lot of it going on. Later today for us, tomorrow for some of you, we will be through another set of mists in Barovia with Curse of Strahd. And tomorrow, there'll be the opposite direction of where our beloved Ning is headed as we go down to the Nine Hells for descent into Avernus. Now I want to run a campaign called Ascent into Elysium. So the opposite version of that. And then next Tuesday we'll be up in Icewind Dale, continuing the assault on the Durgar fortress. And then next Thursday, Wednesday in North America, we shall be back in the Underdark to see what happens. Thank you, everybody. Have yourselves a lovely week, and as we like to say around these parts, matane. Bye.